one of them.
I was a mother.
I was a mother.
You know, I'm a mother.
Yeah.
Where is my child? You know, where is my son? I went through a lot of crying, and then too, I had a lot of people, like some people would come to me where they found a body here. Well, why are you telling me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you tried? Just people just everywhere. But what I had to do and is I had a wonderful church that it had a counseling center.
Yeah.
To like probably within the first month of Corbin being missing, I was in therapy.
Yeah.
You hear that? It's like, baby.
I hear you.
Zion.
What up?
Hey, little bro, I already knew I was in the world, boy. But you had one, bro. You got one.
That's love right there.
Real, bro. Everybody go through rain tonight. The world gonna feel this one, little bro. You hear that?
Rainy nights gon' come, just be ready. Rainy nights gon' come, just be ready. Rainy nights gon' come, just be ready. Rainy nights gon'
Welcome. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Purpose Over Pain podcast. I'm your host, Harry L. Williams II. I just want to tell you all, thank you again for joining, this podcast. We thank you all for subscribing, liking, sharing it. We just thank you. We couldn't do this without you. And so we thank you all, and we ask that you continue to like this podcast. We believe in God that we're going to take this podcast to the nation, and we believe that someone that's out there that's listening to this podcast, we believe that one day we'll have you in the studio as well. But I am excited today. I got a beautiful guest in the building. Y'all put y'all hands together, amen, for our guest of the day. How you doing, my sister?
I'm good.
You good?
Thank you
good.
for
You look
having
good.
me.
You look good.
Thank you.
I mean, you don't have on none of your nothing gear, but you know,
You gonna hook me up.
I'm gonna
You
hook
gonna
you
hook
up.
me up.
I'm glad. I'm gonna hook you up. I'm glad to hook you up. But thank you for coming to sit down
welcome.
with us again. I remember we did we had the show Impact, and you were able to come and sit down. So I'm glad that you were able to come sit down with me. You sat down with Terrell the first time,
Right.
So I'm happy to have you in the building.
My pleasure.
You know what I mean? To get on your schedule. I know you got a lengthy schedule and everything. So
Really?
I am honored. So let me say I am honored.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, welcome.
Harry.
Thank you. Listen, for the people that don't know you, you know what I mean. I know it's a million fans out there that know you. You know what I mean? But for the very few people that don't know you, introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Melissa Jackson. I'm affectionately known as MJ. In 10 days, I will be 59 years old.
59. You had to throw that in there.
I had to let you know.
You had to throw that 59 in 10 days.
10 days.
10 days. All right.
I'm a mother of three boys. I am an angel mom. Been on my job 21 years. Was raised on Pippin Street,
Right on
East
Pippin.
Side.
Out east. I know that's right.
know?
Yeah, out east, no doubt.
I think that's about it.
I never knew that you was raised on Pippin Street.
Pippin Street.
So you're real out easter, huh?
I'm out east. Don't
Oh
play.
man, I'm thinking you just coming to visit. Man, please
I'm out
forgive me.
east.
You out
I'm out
east.
east.
You out
Yes.
east for life then.
For life.
On Pippin
For
Street.
life.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Well, where about on Pippin Street? You what block? Like what you
You know where
It's been
across from
100
the
years.
Yeah. You know what? Where Dana shop is?
Yeah,
What
where
is that?
Dana
On
shop?
that street.
Oh really? Wow. I never knew that. Wow. Well, thank you for
Again, you're welcome.
being here with us today.
Right.
You know, I'm always honored to have our guests come through. You know what I mean? I love the whole topic, purpose over pain. I love that. And so with that being said, when you hear that purpose over pain, what does that mean to you?
Purpose over pain.
Yeah.
I think that's truly like a good question,
Yeah.
Bishop Harry. And I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
Because like I think from when I was trying to find my purpose in my pain,
Yeah.
I had addressed the pain. And you really and truly have to address the pain, and I didn't. Because I was in denial about the pain.
Yeah.
But when I finally just said, okay, Lord, stop being in denial about it, understanding the pain, because I used to dream different. Like when I first lost Corbin, because I was really and truly did not want to believe that I had lost my son.
Yeah.
And I was in denial for a long time. Yeah. So I couldn't I just went out and first started a nonprofit, but not really addressing the pain, so I really couldn't get into the nonprofit.
So you was putting work on it.
I was putting work on it instead of the pain.
Yeah.
You have to really address the pain, and I didn't. And I used to dream about Corbin. I would dream about him knocking on my door saying, "Mama, that wasn't me," that he was alive.
Yeah.
But when I really and truly would go, I would have to stand in that mirror and say, "Melissa, Corbin is not coming back.
Wow. Wow.
He's dead."
Wow.
I used to have to stand in the mirror and tell myself that until I understood it and I accepted it.
Yeah.
Then my dreams were different about him. He's not knocking on the door anymore. I feel like he's protecting my door.
Wow. Wow.
And so now I'm able to understand my purpose and my pain.
Oh wow, I like that. So for those of you all don't know, her son is Corbin.
Corbin?
They actually he became more popular even after he passed away, and I think they made a song about him
Right.
I think that you spent real well. You know what I mean? I think
Absolutely.
how you handled it. Let me
Yeah.
say that.
Right.
So for those of you all don't know, she lost a son that was missing for
365 days.
365 days, and so they found him this anniversary of him missing.
They found him the anniversary of his missing.
Really, wow. And so that's what she's referring to. For those of you all that's maybe listening don't know, she lost her son Corbin, and I like what you said, because we can't really until we face, you know what I mean, the thing that's really bothering us. Right. And like you said, it'll cover up our purpose.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? Because we don't face like, okay, I'm hurt. I'm
angry.
Thank
Right.
you. I'm angry. I'm hurt. I got all of these emotions. And like
Right.
I said, sometimes busyness is our number one enemy. Right.
Right.
Just being busy, not being able to just sit down and think about it. And what popped in my head just then when I said that was the good times remember when James Evans died and
Yep.
and the mother was just doing
Trying to be
everything,
busy,
trying to be busy, and she just all of a sudden she just broke. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She broke because she couldn't
right.
take it anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so at that moment she realized that, listen, I'm hurt. I got to deal with my pain to be able to move forward. Right. And so since we on Corbin, during that time, and of you when Corbin first was missing,
Right.
like when Corbin was first missing, like what were your thoughts? Like, you remember, like when he first was missing?
I promise you, I felt like, okay, Lord, this
What is
cannot
this?
be happening to
Yeah.
me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What is this?
This has to be a dream. And so I started walking. I just started walking and talking to God.
Yeah.
I would walk for like 6 to 9 miles. I just would walk.
That day, or gradually you just started?
Gradually, I just
Okay,
started.
start
Like
walking.
that day was like, I think like the first week I was be by my door just because I
Looking for
know Corbin's not going to run from me. He's
yeah.
running to
To
me.
me.
I'm his source.
Yeah.
He's going to run to his mom. So I would be by the door and just making sure that, if he was to ring the doorbell, then I knew. I say, Lord, just what you want me to do with this, God? What you want me to do with this? And so I just started walking. I would walk, and I would just talk to God. And I remember I told God, I said, God, I don't know how it's going to end, but I want people to see you in this.
Wow.
I want people to see you. So what do you want me to do?
Yeah, and that's
I,
major.
And I remember just hearing, this nice voice, just like, I'm going to make this right, but you have to trust me.
Wow.
And I was telling God, just talking, walking and talking, like, I'm scared, because I knew what the outcome was going to be.
So did it feel like you was in the fog, like people talking to you, you hearing but you don't, because your mind is
Because
like,
my mind, and
where is my
where is my, you know
Where
what I
is
mean?
my
Because
son?
people's stories were changing.
Yeah.
And I really and truly, at that point in time, with going through that for 365 days, not knowing where my son was, I had made a conscious decision not to allow a lot of people in my ear.
Yeah.
Because when you're going through something like that, you have to have the right people around you.
That's right.
You have to be around the right people. You have the wrong people, you'll go down the wrong road. And so I was like, God, I'm just going to make this is going to be me and you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they didn't show up for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have nobody but God to talk to.
That's right. That's right. And then, and to your point, a lot of people, they say stuff and they create emotions in you
Right.
that, what I mean, you're already a little emotional anyway,
Right.
as you should be, because I can't imagine anything happening like that to anybody, you know what I mean? And so I think no matter how strong we try to be, no matter how much we try to stay in the faith, you know what I mean, to actually my child leaving. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, my child was missing, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm gonna go tear the whole world up trying to
Right.
find him, you know what I mean? So, and then, and to have people saying all kind of stuff to you.
They
And your
were.
mind, you got this person saying this, your mind run over there. Then you got this person saying
Right.
this, your mind run over there. You know what I mean? So, doing that process of everybody saying everything to you. I hear you say that you had to begin to trust God.
Right.
So but and trusting God before you got to the point like God, I'm a put this in your hand. Like, how was the relationship then? You know what I mean, with you and God before then, before you got to that point, like, okay, God, I'm gonna trust you. Like, what was your, because sometimes, we'd be angry. You know what I mean? We
Oh, yeah.
like, why my kid?
That's right.
We justify God. I did this right. I did this right. You know what I mean? And how was that
I
process?
felt, let me tell you, Bishop Barry, I felt all those emotions.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't no Jesus.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah.
I was a mother.
I was a mother.
I'm a mother.
yeah.
Where is my child? Where is my son? I went through a lot of crying, and then too, I had a lot of people, like some people would come to me where they found a body here. Well, why are you telling me?
Why you telling
You know what I mean?
me? Yeah.
Have you tried? Just
Yeah.
people just everywhere. But what I had to do and is I had a wonderful church that they had a counseling center.
Yeah.
To like probably within the first month of Corbin being missing, I was in therapy.
Yeah.
And I was going twice a week.
Praise God for that.
And they truly
Yeah.
took me through the journey of how to go through this thing.
Yeah. I had to go through grieving.
How to go through
Yeah,
grief.
how to go through, which is, and shout out to your ministry for doing that. I think that all ministries should have a grieving ministry to help people go through. And if they're not, I think that they need to be looking down the road to having something like that, because that's who impact our church.
Right.
Is the community. And stuff happening into the community. You know what I mean? So I think we need that. So shout out to them. But even in them helping you, go through this grieving process, right? You still, after you come home, you still like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
I still went through I went through a lot of different emotions daily.
Yeah.
I still went to work. I
Still
still
went to
got up and went to work. I would cry. I would feel sorry for myself. I would be, I blame myself, like, what could I have done?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I shouldn't have let him walk down the steps.
Yeah.
I should have known, Lord, because, as a parent, you want to protect your kids.
of
And when
course.
you fail at that, I beat myself up. For a while, I did. But
Yeah.
at the same time, too, I had people telling me, Melissa, it's not your fault. This is something that's not your fault. But still to this day now, I still sometimes feel that,
What you could have done
I could
different.
have done.
Of course.
But I have the tools now to talk myself off the ledge.
Yeah, no doubt. And
Right.
I think that is a natural reaction. You know what I mean? Like, okay, even now, even if stuff don't happen to your kids, you know what I mean? I think
That's
that as they get older and as we begin to see stuff in their life, right? Some of the stuff we don't like.
Right.
You know what I mean? We begin to say, what could I have done differently? You know what I mean?
That's
So,
it.
yeah.
I did.
And so I know you probably, was going through that, that process of, okay,
did.
what I've done, I should have did this, and I should
did this. I shouldn't have took him out of the school that I had him to at my church.
Yeah.
I allowed him to go to, Andrew Jackson, which was my alma mater. I was like, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. Why didn't I know? And then too, you wouldn't even imagine some of the things I went through. I went through someone reaching out to me on Messenger trying to extort money from me,
Wow.
saying that they had my child.
Oh, really?
And they were holding him, and if I send them money,
They
will let him go.
Isn't that something? And people prey on people like that.
So you just imagine just going through all of that, but I still managed to say, okay, God, I gotta see that. I still want them to see you. I still handled myself very, very well, But when I had my breakdowns, it was just me and myself.
Yeah.
But I still went up, and got up and I went to work, and I didn't have to be there. But I just wanted to keep some type of normal about my life until they found my baby.
Yeah. And then because I remember during that time, and nobody would have looking at you.
Right.
You know what I mean? They thinking, well, man,
They weren't supposed to.
You know what I mean? And when you got to that point of like you said, I was busy. I was doing this. I was creating the foundation. I was doing all of these things for him. And then at what moment that you decided, like, I got to move from here to there, right? Like, I've been busy, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm hurting. You know what I mean? I'm really hurting. Like, how did that look for you?
Because my busyness wasn't producing anything.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
I be getting into purpose now.
It wasn't producing. It's just busy.
Just busy. That's right.
It was just busy.
Yeah.
So, and then I realized, like, with talking with so many moms, when they do see me, it's like, you just don't look like what you're going through, and how are you, I would have just lost my mind if I did lose my mind. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I at some points, I did lose my mind. I really felt like I was going crazy. I really felt like sometimes, like, God, I do not want to be here. This pain is so heavy.
Wow.
I would rather just not be here anymore than to experience
to
this.
experience
Because
this.
I'm going to experience this pain every day. The one thing about grief, it doesn't let up. It is relentless.
Wow.
You can't stay busy enough for grief, because grief is patient.
Yeah. It's gonna hunt you
It'll,
down.
it'll wait.
Yeah.
It'll just wait. Okay, I'm gonna let you do you. You got 3 jobs. I'll wait.
Yeah. I'll be here. I'll
right.
be here. Yeah.
So that's how it was.
So when you got to the point, like, okay, I got to, I got to address this. You know what I mean? Outside of the counseling, you know what I mean? What were some of the tools that you did to address it? You know what I mean?
I'm in a group. I'm in a wonderful group of angel moms.
Okay.
To where we are real with each other.
Okay. Yeah.
We are just
Raw.
real. We're real and raw.
Shout out to that group.
It is definitely a beautiful group to be in, with mothers who understand exactly what I'm feeling and what I'm going through. Because the one thing about grief, Bishop Harry, it cannot be explained. It can only be experienced.
Yeah.
So I can't connect myself with a mom who hasn't experienced a child, and to think that she can understand those times because I feel like when I used to go to people who never lost a child, I feel like I was getting on their nerves. Yeah. So like, we always talk about Corbin. Well, you should be better. People thought that once they found him, I'll be okay. Well, I'm never going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I understand. It's almost like a husband and a wife, and the wife pregnant, and the new thing is we pregnant. Right.
Yeah.
That's the new thing. You know what I'm saying? Before it was she pregnant. Now it's
it is we pregnant.
It's we pregnant now. But in reality, you know what I mean, the man never feels the pain of carrying the baby. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he can sympathize. He can do what he can to try to make you feel comfortable and all of that stuff. Give you what you want to eat. I need some chocolate. I need some ice cream. I need all of that stuff there. But at the end of the day, you carrying the baby.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so you was carrying the pain, and
right.
you know what I mean, and people well intended,
they mean
they
well.
well intended, but at the same time they can't feel what you're going through. You know what I mean? And so when you got to the point where you feel you address the pain, I'm hurting, I'm angry, I'm all of these things here. You know what I mean? So your road to purpose, you know what I mean? What did you start realizing? Like on your road to purpose, you realize, like, okay, then here's the purpose of this.
That I really have something in me that I need to share.
Yeah, hey man, wow, yeah. Right. And I tell people, I would like to believe that, although Corbin passed away, the purpose of what you're doing now, God knew this purpose all the while.
Right.
This is what he put inside of you. And sometimes, unfortunately, right, that we don't really realize that purpose until pain, right?
Absolutely.
Until pain take place. Now we don't like it that way. You know what I mean? We
Absolutely.
don't like God. But why you got? You could have just told me. You know, what I mean? You could have just
That's
told
true.
me that you wanted me to
Right.
do this.
Right.
This didn't have to happen for me to do it. But that's what we say. You know what I mean?
That's true.
We don't. You know what I mean? Because we convenient people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We do stuff when we want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And the time and we want to do it. You know what I mean? And so a lot of times, if God would have asked you to do this, if Corbin hadn't passed, you may have seen like, what I'm doing that for? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There ain't no purpose to doing that. You know what I
No.
mean? And so, you know, the enemy meant it for bad, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know, unfortunately, it had to happen with the dying and the passing of Corbin.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the other side of that is that, you know what I mean? Corbin was blessed. Thank you, Lord. Corbin was blessed to have you as a mom, right?
That's
And
right.
so now other people are being able to be blessed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're able to see Corbin mom on a national level, right? That his friends was able to, right, to experience Corbin mom by coming over. You know, it's Corbin mom.
Right.
Oh, you want to come? Your mama so pretty. Oh, I'm gonna come, yeah. And, you know, I'm sure they was messing with him about you saying little stuff.
He
I'm
was like,
sure that.
man, don't
that's
play me
little-
about my
don't play me
mama.
about my mama, man. Go on. You know what I mean? So they was able to
Right.
experience him, but maybe Melissa would have stayed in that comfort zone.
I would have.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe Melissa wouldn't have went outside that comfort zone to, like, God said, well, I'm calling you to the nation. You know what I mean? And maybe you wouldn't want to go to the nation. You know what I mean? So, you know, I heard you say that it was you know, a lot of people that you felt like just wasn't around.
Right.
Right. How did you feel about them handling the death of your son, as far as the authorities? I know that's not a whole lot of, you know, but I'm saying,
Right.
how did you feel?
How do I feel like as far as how they handled when
Yeah.
my baby passed
Yeah,
away, like
yeah.
my family and friends?
Well, family,
and stuff?
friends, the authorities. You know what I mean? How did you?
You know, I don't really focus on like what the authorities do. I
Okay.
think I don't spend a lot of time anymore trying to get CJ murder solved, because I do remember what God said, he's going to make this right. So that ain't none of my business.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know what I mean? That's none of my business.
See, and that's why I brought that. That's why I
Yeah.
had to ask that question. You know what I mean? That's why I had to ask that question, because a lot of times when we go through stuff, then we begin to play the blame game. You know what I mean? Depending on where we are. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that doesn't mean that person is wrong. They're not wrong because that's their reality, right? You know what I mean? That's how
Right.
they feel. That's a raw feeling. But to hear you say that, okay, then, because really what you're saying, what I'm hearing is that I put it in God's hands.
That's it.
You know what I mean? I put it in God's
I
hands.
know God doesn't lie, and I know what I heard.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I don't focus on that. As far as like how my family, I think people handled Corbin's death the best way they could.
That's where they could.
I know they loved him. I know they love me, and I know it's not easy to even try to express something that you don't. First of all, you don't know what to say, and people don't understand. You don't have to say much.
Yeah.
Just be there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I realized when my son passed away, one thing about death, that's just what death teaches you about people loving you. You will find out if a person have a motive for their love.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When somebody dies, you feel like when they come around, why are you here?
Yeah.
Why you ask me these questions?
Yeah,
Are you here? What is your reason
What is
for
your
being
reason
here?
for being here?
Their motive will be found.
Yeah, yeah.
You will find their motive out when someone passes away. And I really had to shift myself from a lot of people. People don't understand, like, I'm not the same person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of
I'm
course.
not the same person. I don't love the same because my heart don't beat the same.
yeah, yeah.
So losing people, because I've lost one of the most important things in my life. So losing you is collateral damage if you don't understand my boundaries.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if you're not treating me right,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
I've learned how to just fall back from people.
Yeah, and
Okay,
it-
Lord, thank you.
Yeah, and because really, you know, it teaches you. People say, well, I love, but it teaches you how to love.
It does.
You know what I'm saying?
It does.
It teaches you like how to love, because people say they love, but you got to know how to love.
You know how to
You know what
love.
I'm saying? You got to, just like you got to know when to talk, when to be quiet, when to this, when that. There's a time and a purpose and season for everything up under
Right,
the sun.
absolutely.
So you got to so during these times, even though it's painful, we in school.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? We in school, and God is really showing us how to deal with situations that we that we won't never have imagined that's going to come our way.
Never.
You know what I mean? There's
Never.
things that's coming down the pipe. You know what I mean? There's things, there's opportunities, there's, you know what I mean? And that discernment, it has to get sharper.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if it's not, then the pain, the pain gonna continue. You know what I mean?
It sharpens you.
It sharpens you. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you got to that place of just like, hey, boom, and I want to say this. I know you said about the women of the group who have lost family members. Is there anything in the group of women that was dealing with pain? Is there anything in particular that like jumped out at you dealing with these women that was common? Like, you could say all of them was, you know what I mean? I could see that what everybody had in common, right? Was there any one particular thing that like jumped out at you? You know what I mean?
In our group when we're
In y'all
together,
group, yeah. Collectively,
all
like,
of us, we're trying to understand something that can never be understood.
wow, that's good.
That's all of us. We trying to every
Everybody
day
trying to
we're
understand.
trying to understand how this
How this happened? Yeah.
why this happened,
Yeah, yeah.
Stuff like that. So
Wow.
That's what it is.
Wow. And see, and that's good. And even you recognizing that, you know what I mean? Because in recognizing, okay, how this happened,
Right.
now we could try to deal with it now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Did you find that that the group of women, did you find that they were angry?
yes,
They were very angry.
confused.
Yeah, confused.
Sometimes bitter.
Bitter.
Unforgiveness. Just they have no type of unforgiveness. Hatred. It's
And so I'm imagining when you saw that, you was able to minister to that
right.
as well.
We talk. We talk, but you do have to allow people to grieve
That's
how
right.
they grieve.
No,
But
that's
for me, if a person is at like a really really bad place, where they are really really angry and just really really walking a lot of unforgiveness, I don't really attach myself to that.
Okay.
You do have to be careful. Just because we're going through the same thing doesn't mean that we need to be connected.
Yeah, that's right.
I can pray for you out
That's right.
here, but I
That's
don't have
right.
to be connected to
That's
you
right.
because I'm past that.
That's right. That's right.
You can have those emotions, but if you stay there, if every time we talk you're there, then I'm not really going to connect myself with you.
Yeah. Because the Bible says, "How can two walk together unless they
Right.
agree?" You know what I mean? And so, you're able to. And I always say this. My mentor used to say, "The further you go back, the more truth you find." You know what I'm saying? And I would imagine just being able to be in these women companies. You know what I mean? You begin to see a lot of stuff that take shape.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you begin to see what you don't see. You know what I mean? You begin to recognize the spirit that's behind that person.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And just how strong that spirit is that behind that person. You know what I mean? You ain't really dealing with them. You're dealing with the spirit that's behind them, that's using them as a puppet and
Right.
controlling them. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you said something powerful about, I could be around you, but I don't have to.
Be connected.
I don't have to be connected to you.
I don't have to,
You know what I mean?
No, so my thing is I still want to be that person for you, but I can be praying for you like, ask God, to soften her heart.
That's right. That's
You know
right.
what I mean?
That's right. That's right.
But
So I know it turned you to. I don't know how your prayer life was before then, but I know,
You just-
because you're expanding and it lets you know just how I believe it lets you know. You correct me if I'm wrong. It lets you know just how I won't say lost, or maybe that's the right word, that people really are.
Right.
You know what I mean? And sometimes when bad things happen, it brings worse things out.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
You really get to see. Just like when a person get money, you gonna see that person always been that
Yeah,
way.
always been that way.
It
The
just
money
magnified.
Yeah, now you can afford to do.
Right. Now you
Now
right.
you can afford
So-
to be the real deal.
Right. So grief can really because to me it's a difference between someone that is mourning than someone that is grieving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mourning is like you in a really dark place when you mourning.
Yeah.
When you mourning. Grief is the fact that because grief is love unfinished. So I'm grieving the love
Yeah.
because the love that I had, it could only be for Corbin.
Yeah.
So when I'm grieving him, I'm just grieving the love that I wish I could have for him again, or share with him again, or love on him again, or something like that.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah.
I agree
Right.
with that. But listen, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna
Okay.
come back in a minute, and we're gonna take a break, and
All right.
I'm gonna ask you some more stuff.
Okay.
And once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in to Purpose Over Pain podcast. You know, we like to highlight individuals that's doing something. Make sure you all go out and purchase this book, Spared, by Minister Troy Majors. It's an awesome book. It's an awesome book. Make sure you all go out and support that. Also, Hannah's Secret and Savannah by Sharon Rogers Griffin. Make sure you all go and purchase that. You all can go online, just Google it, put it in. It's in Books of a Million, Amazon, and also my book, Blessed 2, also Blessed 1. It's out there. Go and support. We thank God for you. And any of you all that's doing something that you all want us to highlight on the podcast, we would be more than happy to do that. Remember, make sure you go to podcast@gmail.com. If you all have any questions, make sure you all go there. We're on Spotify, Purpose Over Pain on Spotify. Also, if you go to our YouTube channel HLW2, you can subscribe to the podcast, and make sure you don't miss no episodes. And remember, podcast is brought to you by Another Clothing brand. And I know I've been telling you all for a while, we're going to give you all a site to go to so you all can start ordering stuff. But we thank you all for y'all support thus far. We've been putting up in the trunk, popping the trunk. Everybody been getting the gear. Everybody love it. We have some nice stuff coming for the summer, but we'll make sure that we'll keep you all in contact and in the loop of what we're doing. Listen, I'm back with my guest, Miss Melissa, a.k.a. MJ. The real MJ. At the end of the podcast, we're going to make her do a couple of moves.
Oh, no. I'm good. I got on the wrong shoes today. You know what I'm saying?
We got some shoes in there. We get you squared away. We got some shoes on there. Got a little powder on the end, on the bottom of it. But thank you for coming to share this amazing story and how God, has taken you from pain, and doesn't mean that you don't still have any. Mm-hmm. But now the smoke is clearing.
Right.
You're able to recognize that there's a purpose in all of this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I thank God for the women that God put you around to be able to sow seeds. Put seeds in the ground. And I believe that because those women are around you, that they are becoming better. Right. They are recovering themselves. You can lead them there, but they got to take the responsibility of taking these seeds, this word that you've given them, right? Your attitude, your disposition. You know what I mean? Because we could be experience the same pain, but our outlet is different.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what we're doing is different. And I think that in all of our lives, we want to bring God glory. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And especially if you're a believer. Like everybody's not a believer. We understand that. It's just that believers, we grieve differently.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
We do. We definitely do.
We grieve differently. You know
We
what I
do.
mean? We
We
realize
do.
that, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, we want to grieve like the world. We want to be
Right.
snotting and crying and all of that, but it's just something on the inside of us. The Holy Spirit don't allow us to really do it like that.
Doesn't allow you just to stay in it.
Stay in it. You know what I mean? And so that's the beauty. You know what I mean? That's the beauty. And then when we start realizing our purpose, right? And so when, as you're realizing your purpose, because we're not done. You know what I mean? So really, I should say you're in your purpose. You're in your purpose. It's not done. So you realizing that I'm in my purpose, right? How do you approach your day now?
How do I approach my day now? Every morning when I get up, I listen to this hour-long prayer. I try to feed my spirit.
No doubt.
Try to feed myself. I listen to it every morning.
Every day.
Every
Wow.
morning I get up to work 5 o'clock. I listen to it.
Wow.
It comes on for an hour on YouTube. I just listen to it. It's a different prayer every morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's just spot on, just what
Spot
I
on.
need to
Yeah.
kind of like start my day. And I just feel like when I'm on and I'm working, I have to tell myself, okay, Lord, this job, but I'm working for you.
I'm
You know what I
working for you.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I'm
you're
working for
my
you.
boss, so I do the best I can while I'm working on my job. If any of my coworkers, because at one point I wouldn't really connect with people because I work from home.
Yeah, yeah.
I really wouldn't connect with my team as far as when they would have meetings, I would never say anything. Now every morning I send out a word in our
Wow.
group.
Look at you. You're preaching now.
I send out a nice little, nugget, little quote in our little group, and so I'm just trying to do things just intentional and just so different, just so different.
So
I
you
feel
send
like
the
just a
impact of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm imagining when you send it out, you getting some response.
Some problems. My team is like, and if I'm not there enough, if I don't send it, they're like, MJ, you ain't sending us stuff. And I'm like,
tripping.
okay, yeah. So
You tripping. Where you at, girl?
Yeah, where I'm at. So yeah.
And that got to
So
feel.
that feels really good that they appreciate.
Oh yeah, no
appreciate
doubt,
it.
no doubt. I tell people anytime God allow us to do the smallest thing that feels so good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because we really showing them Christ.
Right.
You know what I mean? Through our pain, because they know your story.
You know
what I
my
mean?
story.
Sometimes people
Absolutely.
can almost tell your story, not better than you, but
Right.
they can at least come to identical. They can, know, and you're like, darn, you Melissa?
Yeah, yeah. You and see, I'm not even known as Melissa anymore. I'm Corbin's mom.
You're
You Corbin's mom.
You're Corbin's mom. Isn't that something?
Yeah. I'm Corbin's mom. I say it proudly. Yes, I am.
I'm Corbin's mom.
I'm Corbin's mom.
I'm Corbin's mom. And I think that because of Corbin, the people that may have known him, the people that really knew him. You know what I mean? I think that it also gives you a stronger voice too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whereas in like you the mother of Corbin, you know what I'm saying? And now that's your son, and now it's okay, I'm his mother. I'm his mother. You know what I'm saying? Where you was proud to that to be your son is like okay, I'm proud to be his mama.
I'm proud to be his
You know what I
mama.
mean? And
right.
and I think that it gives people they'll listen to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's strange because it's like okay, well, why did this have to happen for you to listen to me now?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm sure you were talking to his friends. I mean,
I do.
every mother. I mean, if anybody come over to your house,
I'm talking to you.
I'm talking
Corbin's
to you.
mama going, what you doing?
I know that right.
What you doing?
Yeah, don't come over here then.
Yeah. And now it's like I think I've gotten a lot more close to them. It's especially after losing one of Corbin's really, really good friends, and so I've seen how losing him, just the little boys were hurting.
Yeah. They still
The young men, rather, I would say the young men were hurting. So I took it upon myself to now reach out to them every day. I text them, look, I love you, because I think they need to know that.
Yeah.
They need to know somebody cares.
Yeah.
Just I love you. Don't just tell them don't grieve by yourself.
right.
Don't isolate yourself. Don't feel like you're not a man if you cry.
Yeah, that's right. And to your point, and shout out today is Lil Papa birthday. So shout out to Lil Papa,
Yes.
to his family, his friends, all of his fans. We just want to let you all know that
Right.
we continually, we with you. We understand what you're going through.
Absolutely.
And so we just want to tell you how much we love you and we're praying for you. And one thing about, Lil Papa, he kept Corbin.
He kept Corbin.
He kept Corbin alive, and
He kept Corbin alive.
Kept him, and so
I love that.
and for you to be here on Lil Papa's birthday,
Birthday.
look at God,
Thank you, God.
right? Look at God, right? For you to be here,
Talking
yeah,
about it.
because the young people they need us.
They need us.
I'm saying they need us, and and with and speaking of Lil Papa, and speaking of because I know it hurts you as well. When you heard the news, like, what was there any thoughts you had, like, okay, well, Papa died this way, Corbin died this way. Like, were you you're not happy that Papa died, but were there any times like, okay, it could have been worse for my son? Did that ever cross your mind? Like, I could have lost him this way.
The manner and the cause of death really doesn't matter.
Okay.
It really doesn't. You know, whether the manner is by gun,
Suicide, whatever.
cause being
Yeah.
that it's a death.
Yes, a death.
You know what I
It's a
mean?
death.
So you're not. I don't think you just go. You grieving the death. You grieving their life. That's not
not
anymore.
death.
So no,
Yeah.
I just agree the fact that he's 25.
25. Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
25.
That's it. And it hurt. It really hurt
Because
because
they had so much life.
he
you know
had
what I
so
mean?
much
in
life,
them.
and like you said, he kept Corbin's name out there. Him and Corbin were like brothers.
Yeah.
They truly and truly loved each other. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
had a love for Papa. I definitely have a love for my sister Lynn
Yeah.
and Micah.
Shout out
and
to them. Yeah.
and I just it hurt.
Yeah.
And so like the cause and the manner that
yeah.
I'm grieving the fact that he's no longer here.
Yeah.
And sometimes people get caught up in that, you know. They'll treat a mom like how they treated me. Like when our kids are murdered and, you know, it's by gunshot, they kind of treat us moms and like you can catch what we got.
Yeah. Like you catch what you got.
So you want to kind of like shield yourself from
Yeah.
us. And so that's why, you know, in our group,
Great point.
we kind of we understood, you know,
Great point.
they treat us.
And know what I think it is, Melissa? I think that unfortunately, it's a judgmental,
Right.
right? If,
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking for the better word.
That's
But
just what it
I
is.
think that, you know, as if like he was on this trajectory.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Like,
you
where
know,
his mama?
Yeah.
Working?
Like you know, you raised him this
Yeah,
way, or
yeah.
you like this was gonna happen.
Happen.
You know what I mean?
Like every child that's
Yeah.
they didn't come from broken a lot
Yeah,
of.
of
Corbin
course.
had both his parents.
Of
He had his
course.
grandparents. He came from a good home. The best. I was the best mom I could be to him.
Yeah.
He made his own decisions.
That's right.
He made his own decisions, and so sometimes they want to beat moms up. I remember reading in the comments. Oh my goodness, the things they were saying about me, but I know
You strong. You really read them
I was
comments.
like, yeah, they don't know me.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But then I had to realize too, because sometimes it was kind of getting to me. You know what I did, Pastor Sarah? I said, God, do I want my peace or do I want to be on social media? And
Yeah.
I chose my peace, so
I
I'm not
told
even
you.
on
I know
social
that.
media
Yeah,
anymore.
I know what you mean. I'm not a social media.
Yeah, y'all- they can
you know,
have
I
it.
may go and you know what I mean, but I'm you know, because at the end of the day, like you said, if you're not strong at that
Mm-hmm.
particular time, you know what I mean, because we're strong, we're strong at different times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so this day I may read that comment and I ain't as strong.
I ain't as
You know what I'm
strong.
saying? And that thing may, you know what I'm saying, hit
Yeah.
and mess up my whole day.
And two, I had to understand when you grieve, you got to understand your triggers.
Yeah, that's something.
See, I understand my
I understand.
triggers.
Me too.
I understand my triggers, and you know, at one point, I remember like recently how when I got off, and I really had to go back through counseling because they were trolling me so
Wow.
bad
Wow.
about where's Corbin.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm saying I can't even say anything about my son in peace.
In peace.
I already had to grieve him in public.
Yeah.
I couldn't grieve my son in private because of things that were out there. So I said, you know what? And I felt myself like going, I felt like it was all over again. So I said, you know what? And thank God I have my church and Impact. I went,
Yeah.
I was able to go back to counseling. I went back to counseling.
Praise
I'm in
God.
counseling now.
Praise God. Praise God. Good for you.
Yeah.
You know, and so if you do decide to go back, just go back and post and not even look at the comments.
Girl, don't look at the comments.
That's it. Don't look at the comments. Just post and go. That's what I normally do.
Yeah, you can, because you got some people that are so.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
I allow them to be
they're-
like that.
And they, you know, and I tell people all the time, you know, that's the world we live in.
That's the word we
I mean, everybody got something to say. You know what I'm saying?
Keyboard, I call
Everybody
them keyboard killers.
They are. And so everybody got something to say. Everybody want to say something. Everybody want to weigh in.
Everybody wanna be liked. Everybody wanna- yeah.
Everybody, you know what I mean? And I remember telling my son when he was doing music, you know what I mean? I was telling him, I'm saying, listen, don't get caught up into that. You know what I mean? Because what you'll do, you'll stop doing music based on what they say.
Right, exactly.
So I'm saying,
They will.
you know,
They will
get better.
determine. They will absolutely.
Get better, you know, and if you're not strong enough to look at it as feedback,
Right.
which at sometimes we ain't looking at the feedback. We looking at it like what it is, and we want it whatever. You know what I mean? And so I ain't good at going back and forth. You know what I mean?
I get that.
So I post it, boom, and I go.
And let it be.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then every now and then I think that there's been times where I've gone back and said, hey, listen, forgive me. I don't read a lot of comments. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, just to give them a disclaimer. You know, because some people they get offended by that.
Right.
Oh, why you ain't saying nothing to me? Why you ain't saying nothing back? I ain't, you know what I mean? So, but
Yeah.
kudos to you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you know, and for you to recognize that, you know, I got to go back through this counseling. You know what I mean?
I had to go back.
Because you know, we can't go through it enough.
Right.
Really, at the end of the day,
can't-
you know what I mean? Because it helps us in so many areas of our life.
It really
You know what I
does.
mean? Not just in the death of Corbin, but just dealing with people all together. You know what I mean? And so, so since that, you got your swag back. You know what I mean? You know, since you got your swag back, you know, I still miss my son.
I still
you know what
miss
I mean?
him.
But here's my purpose, right?
my purpose.
Here's my purpose, and I'm trying to get to wherever it is that God will have me to go, right?
right.
And so on that journey, has there been anybody that you have connected to? You know what I mean? And they're walking with you on that journey. Any women that may have that you were able to connect with and say, you know, hey, look, that I can connect with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of few.
Okay.
So it's a
All right.
few of us that, you know, we're more tighter than,
Okay.
you know what I
Okay.
mean? Like
Yeah,
if I'm
no doubt.
having one of those days where it's like, if I don't even want to talk about Corbin.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean? I just want to just have a girl,
Yeah,
a
just
sister
have a girl-
talk.
a sister
I
talk,
do
yeah.
have that.
Okay, that's
I do
beautiful.
have that.
That's beautiful. I can just let my hair down.
I
and
can
just
let my
be-
hair down and
Yeah,
just, I can take my mask off.
yeah, no doubt.
You
no
got to
doubt.
have somebody that you can take
Yeah,
your
I
mask
can
off. You can
breathe.
see that
Yeah.
real you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
Be vulnerable with.
I do have
mean,
that. I
and-
do have that.
And I think
absolutely
I think that's great. You know what I mean? Because, you know, as believers, sometimes our life is about being vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You know, being in a place where we are vulnerable and we can share with each other.
Right.
I mean, and we can say, hey, this going on, that going on. You know what I mean? Because we need to be poured into as
Right.
well. You know what I
That's
mean? That I can't put I got to take the Wonder Woman sign off my shirt. You know what I mean? I need you to talk to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? When the young people, let me, have you found the young people that you're talking to, are they more receptive, you think, now?
I think because I've always, when they've ever encountered Melissa, I've always been Melissa.
You always
Miss
been
Melissa.
Miss Melissa.
Miss
Yeah,
Melissa.
yeah.
And so, and how they loved Corbin, and how they, you know, the ones that are truly his friends.
Yeah, 10 toes down.
How they love Corbin. So their thing is, we want to love his mom.
I love his mom.
And so they'll listen to. And sometimes our children, I could tell Corbin something 5 times and he won't get it, but you can tell him 1 time and he'll get it.
That's
So me being that person, just like I said, I've been just talking to them, reaching out to the young men who were really affected by, you know, little Papa's
Papa death.
passing. I was telling him, I said, I cannot lose another son.
Yeah. And because these really, it's almost like you've lost Corbin, but you've gained all these other sons.
Kids
You know
who
what I mean?
just, when they see me, they still call me Ma. You know, Ma, you know, we love you. And so, you know, I've been texting them, just reaching out to them. Look, I'm here. You do not have to go through this alone. So, you know, I think they truly and truly respect me because I don't hang out with them. I'm not gonna party with them.
That's right.
So they're gonna understand the respect. I don't
that's right.
play with children.
That's right. That's right.
And so I know how to, don't do that.
Yeah.
They're not gonna curse around
right.
me. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I remain this is who I am. Don't play with me. But I just want to be there. Just let them know, if I'm going through this as a mom, I can only imagine what you're going through on the other end as far as being a young man.
Right.
Because they don't know what to do with all those emotions.
That's right.
And those feelings.
That's right. And you know how, you see how beautiful God is, that God can use what seemed to have been a tragedy, right? and turn it into a triumph for other kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So the stuff that they may not have gotten over here through the passing of Corbin, right? That's almost like a doorway, right, for them to get
Right.
what they need. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's almost like Christ dying. That was an open door, you know what I mean, for us to get to know God, accepting Him. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so, being able to now connect with what some of the kids have missed growing up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because the truth of the matter is that a lot of our kids, they didn't get what Corbin got.
That's right.
You know what I mean? No disrespect to their mom or their dad, but I mean, a lot of kids didn't get that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so for you to be able to be that for them, is an awesome thing. And so now that you and your purpose, like what type of things have you been able to do? I know you talked about, with the women group, which is awesome. Any other platforms or anything you've been have folks been inviting you to come speak and all of those things? Or are you open to all of those things?
I'm truly open to it. Let me tell you, when I started out, I was doing some speaking and going to some things and speaking and putting myself up there because I feel like I'm the only person that can tell Corbin's story. Nobody can tell Corbin's story like me. But for me now, I think because I'm in such a different light, I'm more free to talk. Kind of like letting my guard down. I don't really have nothing, where I'm feeling like, I hope they don't ask me this. I don't care what you ask me.
Okay, no
know
doubt,
what I mean?
no doubt. You ain't as guarded now.
I'm not as guarded. And so I really and truly want to be just a person where we can sit down. Let a group of us, if you're going through anything, when you're going through any grief, anything, that we can I want to sit down and have like a platform for that.
Yeah. We're going to make that happen.
Because there's such thing as, there is a such thing as good grief.
That's right.
You can grieve well.
You grieve well. That's right. You can. You can grieve well.
You can grieve well.
And it's really about your response to it.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's about your response to it. How you handle it.
How you handle it.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, they just don't handle it well. You know what I mean? And they got to see that. They got to see somebody. You know what I mean? They got to see somebody doing. They got to see an example of.
They
like,
do.
You know what I mean?
And that's what I told God. Y'all want God, they got to see you in this, because as a mother, I'm tore up.
Yeah.
But I just truly, and I promise you, I said, God, they got to see you. God does not change. You know what I mean? He was the same God when He gave me my new house. I still praised Him. So if now when something bad happens to you and then you change how you are, who wants to know your God?
Yeah. Who wants to know?
I want to know your God.
Yeah. No doubt.
If something happens to you, you switch.
And you switched on them. Yeah.
So,
That's a good point. That in spite of what goes through, I'm still gonna give Him praise. That's why the scriptures say, "In all things, give thanks." You know what I mean? And so, and that's what people need to see. You know what I mean? Like people say, "Oh, keep it real, keep it real, keep it real, keep it real." That's keeping it real. Keeping it real is mean that no matter what I'm going through, no matter what has happened to me, I lost my son, I lost this, but I'm keeping it real. I still love God.
I still love God.
I still trust Him.
I still
You know what I'm
trust Him.
saying? I still wouldn't want to serve nobody else but Him. Right? I'm hurt, but I still want to serve Him. I'm disappointed, but I still want to serve Him. I'm angry, but I still want to serve Him. You know what I mean? And so I think that you have worn that real well.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? I think you've handled it real well. And I think that you are an example for a lot of people, not just women, but men as well. Anybody who's lost anything, who lost anybody or anything for that matter.
That's
you know what I mean?
That's true.
And it needs to be more Melissas, MJs out there.
I hope so.
And I
You know,
believe that-
Harry, because you have some people that we blame God.
Yeah.
They're angry with God.
Yeah.
I went through that, like, God,
Just don't get stuck there.
and I questioned Him. But at the end of the day, I had some people that taught me, you know what I mean, that, okay, Melissa, we understand that. Even when I, going through my counseling at my church didn't come to me with a whole bunch of scriptures.
Yeah.
I'm a mother.
Yeah.
I've lost my child.
Yeah.
And that's how they was able to win me over with. I know scriptures. I don't want to hear no scriptures right now.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
You know what I'm saying? The Bible says time and season for everything.
everything.
You know what I mean? And so, because a lot of people don't want to hear scripture; they want to see them.
I want to see them.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, that when you're going through, you know what I mean, I'm there to help you.
Right.
They want to see that.
That's right.
You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying? You know what I'm saying? The strong should bear the what? The infirmities of the what?
Mm-hmm.
The weak. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times they want to, they love to hear them, but they want to see them.
They want to see
You know what I'm
them.
saying? And so, and our audio and our video got to match.
Got to match.
Got to match. And so, let me ask this: if and I, you know, I ask this question, you know, if there were like a mother that was, you know, going through the exact same thing, she got news. Hey, look, son missing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What would you tell her
If she got the
if she got the exact same news right now? You know what I'm saying? And you had to walk her through. You know what I mean? What would you tell her? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
From what you've learned, you know what I mean? What would you advise her to do? Because I believe that, like I said, folks gonna hear this,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, if they're not going through it, somebody gonna hear it. They're gonna go through it. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, you know, how Corbin was missing. You know what I mean? We don't want that. We want that to be the last time, but in reality,
Right, it's not going
it's
to
not
be.
gonna be the last time. You know?
The first thing I would say is you get off social media.
Yeah.
You have to block out. You have to truly block out a lot of the noise.
Yeah.
You have to. I think you have to sit by yourself just for a second,
Yeah.
and you got to process it. You got to process it. You got to process it. How is this going to look if my son never comes back? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he never comes back, you got to process that part. Then you have to connect yourself with the right people. Don't disconnect from God.
Yeah.
You can't. That's the one thing
Yeah.
you cannot do.
Yeah.
You can't disconnect. There ain't the time for you to go off into a room and just be by yourself all the time. But you got to process it first. That's what for me. I had to process it. Then I allowed myself to, you know what I mean, after a period of time of just making sure, because I was hearing too much from people that was always just, people always coming to you with stuff, and that ain't what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Don't come to me with what you know. People, he may be being sex trafficked. Just so you feeding all those fears.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
understand what I mean?
That's
So
right.
get by yourself. Then find you that you know that is, you have that one person that you can take your mask off with and just be real with that person. Connect with that kind of person. Stay connected to your church. Get in therapy so someone can walk you through all the emotions and things that you're going to have to go through. Get in a grief. Get with people who are like you.
Yeah.
You have to get with someone who's gone through what you're going through.
What you're going through.
Right.
Yeah. That you won't get on their nerves.
You won't get on their nerves
Yeah.
because I understand you're going to be. For me, I didn't sleep at night. I didn't sleep because I just was like he's out there. He's by himself. Even when after they found him, it was hard for me to sleep. It was so hard for me to sleep. So I was up. But I had friends that would get up. I don't care if I call them, no matter they got up, because you have people, they don't tell you, call me if you need, they ain't gonna answer. Me, I know what you're going through.
Yeah.
If I look and see you, I'm going to answer because I know why you're up.
That's right.
And so that's what you truly and truly have to do. Take some time to process it. Make sure you have the right people in your ear. Stay connected with God. That is one of the first. Stay connected with God. Get in some therapy, and make sure you're around like-minded people.
Wow, that's good. That is awesome. And for those individuals, and I know you say, you know, social media, I'm doing a little bit of that. But for those who may hear this podcast and say, listen, we need to talk to her. Which is going to be, you know what I mean? So is it, do you have an email? Or you have something that
I do have an email. And
we're going to post it now
Okay.
when this come out. So
Okay.
whatever information you give us, we're going to make sure we have it on there.
Fine. I have an email. I still have like my social media out there. I just don't have the apps on my phone. I don't post anything.
Okay then.
So, but you know, they can contact me through email because I refuse to.
Yeah. And I get you. I get you. So we're gonna like I said, we're gonna do our part. I think that this, I think that no matter how hurtful this has been, I do believe with all my heart that there's an audience that need to hear you.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? I do think it. I think there's an audience nation. You know what I'm saying? And we've talked about this before. I think there's an audience that has to, and we're just waiting on the timing of God.
okay, that's
You know
right.
what I mean? But I believe that there's an audience of people that needs to hear this story. I think God has postured you to be able to take that message to, you know what I'm saying, to the nation. You know what I mean? You got people that can take it to the neighborhood. You got people
Okay.
that take it to the city. You got people that can take it to the state. You know what I'm saying? You got people that can take it to the nation and the world. You know what I mean? Which I think he's posturing you as well to be able to do that. That needs to hear your voice. You know what I mean? So I'm, like I said, I'm always grateful to have you, and for us to be in your
Thank
presence,
you.
to be able to hear from you. And so thank you. I'm sure
Welcome.
we'll be seeing you again.
You will.
I'm sure we'll be seeing you again. We'll be seeing a lot more of you. And so I thank you for being a guest.
Thank
and
you
I
for
want to tell
having
you,
me.
no problem at all. And I want to tell you all again, once again, man, listen, I am always honored to have you all to join us at Purpose Over Pain podcast. Make sure you all reach out to us. Amen. And remember that the Lord loves you. We love you. But nobody loves you more than God. And whatever you're going through, listen, there is a purpose over your pain.